I am an eternal optimist. So please, God, don't tell me that you're an eternal pessimist.
I like to say I'm a realist.
Oh, it's great. We're going to get along great. This is going to be great.
This is Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh.
Missed it. Ball through. 6 in the hands of Ron Rollins. He's going to hang on. And the Bucks hang on. Their grittiest, most gratifying win without Giannis comes tonight. And they take down the Detroit Pistons, the best team in the East.
That's a big win on a day when Bucks fans needed a big win. Good morning, Wisconsin. This is Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. I'm Josh Albrecht. Trevor is off today. It was a scheduled day off. He had a doctor's appointment, something he couldn't get out of. He had to take care of. As far as I know, he has not scrubbed his social media. He has not requested a trade. He has never requested a trade. Although I'm very excited to be able to do my first full show with our boy, Tommy Wartz.
Hey.
How are we doing, Tommy?
I'm doing all right. Usually if you and me are talking on the air together, like bad news has been happening in the past.
Right.
So this is like the first time we have like some good times. Right. Last time I think we talked on the air on this show, Trevor was blowing up in Green Bay.
I think it was day one.
Yeah, it was day
I think that was day one.
Yeah. It was very hectic, and I knew, all right, well, show must go on, right? So I'll just jump over there and we'll fix everything else. And now no more issues have ever happened in between since. So it's been awesome.
Yeah, and we'll knock on all the wood for that. You can, of course, be a part of the conversation today on the Nicolay Law Fan Talking text line, 414-677-1250. Or you can be part of the conversation on YouTube, Twitter. You can be watching us as well as listening to us. That, of course, at WI Sports Radio. You can follow Tommy and I on Twitter. I'm at Honor Josh. He's at Tommy WSSP. And get at us. Get at the conversation. There's an absolute crap ton of stuff to talk about today, and we are going to get to it all. In this first segment, first we talk about how our night went, and then we play a little bit of catch up. I'm excited more than usual to talk about how my night went because I had bowling last night.
Nice.
Not every Wednesday, but usually every other. It's I'm not a sub. We just have a lot of people on our team, so It's a rotating, next man up kind of thing. And I went 225, 265, 259.
Hell yeah, good night.
Yeah. So averaged about 250 out there. It got me nothing.
Okay.
So, it's not like in the juniors where you get a patch or,
Do people give you a hard time for being like, oh, there's the college bowler on the other team?
No, because I'm not even the best bowler on our team.
All right.
So
that works.
So in comparison,
until football age, I was in bowling. I don't know if you knew
I did not know that.
Yeah, I used
So what
to
is that
be-
though? What is that, like 13, 14?
No, I was like 10.
Okay.
But so you
Sure.
say that, but I was actually a better bowler when I was 9 than I am now. I had my
because
own
you were
ball.
bowling.
Yeah, I bowled a 189 as a 9-year-old. And that's still
And since?
the highest score
Okay.
I've ever gotten. But I did bowl a 189 when I was living in Minnesota, not this past, I guess 3 summers ago now. It's been a while since I got it, but there's nothing to do in Wilmer, but there is a bowling alley.
Sure, of course.
So we would go every once in a while and hang out. Always a good time. Great sport to just hang out, drink a couple
Absolutely
beers.
true. That 2 tree beers, yeah.
And I did get a 189 again. I was feeling myself. But I would say that
I think it's funny you tied it. You tied your all-time high.
I was so mad, dude. I was
like
so mad.
11 years later.
I think I needed a 9 to get 190, and I hit 8s. I was like, you got to be kidding me. Like, I didn't even need a strike. So I think that what I was gonna say with that is bowling. I don't think enough people do it anymore, and I think it used to be a little more popular 15 years ago. Even I think it's like bar league softball and bowling are on the same like trajectory almost.
Yeah, I think that bowling in general has it's more of a participant sport than it is a spectator sport.
Right.
It's like, okay, yeah, we played bar league softball, and then the team goes and bowls during the winter, and maybe I'm in a golf league. The PBA, people aren't watching enough bowling.
Dude, I know
exciting.
some PBA stuff too, man. I was doing this with Sparky. I was rattling off names. I was like, dude, what about Norm Duke, man? And he was like, how the hell do you know who Norm Duke is? You know, the guy
Norm, my favorite.
Norm, your favorite?
Yeah.
Okay.
Norm's my favorite.
What's the other one? Walter Ray Williams Johnson or something?
Junior.
Got it. Yep. I know
Close
him.
enough. Yeah.
Wes Malott. I got that name.
So you know a lot of names from 2005, which is awesome.
Dude, that's because it used to be my grandma had
that's
cable.
when it was big.
I used to go stay at my grandma's on the weekends. So ESPN bowling, right?
Yeah. I mean, since then they've gone to Fox and everything else. The other thing that was happening at bowling last night was the Bucks game was on.
Yeah.
Tommy, and so this was a Bucks game that if you are a fan of just anything, Giannis, basketball, the Bucks,
anarchy,
drama, last night they were TNT. They knew drama,
and it felt like yesterday it was almost appointment television too, because of the day that was happening in Milwaukee. I would be lying to say I'm like always waiting to go watch a Bucks game this season. But yesterday I was like, well, I better put this Bucks game on. Giannis drama. Let's see what happens. They're playing the number 1 team in the East. And then it happened. Right. And that was that, Giannis, it was such a crazy circumstances to go through in the morning, in the early day rather, and then to have that result and all the occurrences during the game, it just all felt a little too like universe balancing itself out.
It truly did. And so as I mentioned before on the show, we like to play catch up a little bit, and then we'll tell you what's going on in the show. So if you, for some reason, you were dumb, you turned off the radio after Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh yesterday, let us catch you up. So you already know that Giannis scrubbed his social media. He got rid of any of his posts, Bucks posts, any other posts really, besides, a few things that were family, Kobe, or him winning a championship. And that got people talking because it came right after the Wizards loss, which was an absolutely terrible loss. Well, then yesterday, I want to say, what time was it? It was maybe 11:30
with the rumors coming out
with Brian Windhorst, who's not my favorite person, period. He was on a Cleveland ESPN radio station and drops this in there.
The Bucks called the Knicks and asked for an offer for Giannis. Okay.
And
because Giannis said, I want to be a Knick. So people are like, oh my God, he deleted a photo from May where he had a Bucks logo. Guys, he asked to be traded already.
Yeah. So when's it going to happen?
Well, that's the thing. So what appears is that Giannis committed himself for the season to the Bucks. That's what appeared happened. Everything he said in his mood. But the Bucks are not good. This year, when he hasn't played, they're 1-5. And when he has played, they're 9-8. So they've been 500 when he's played, and when he hasn't played, they've been getting raced. What you're asking me is his viewpoint? Would his viewpoint change? I don't know. Like I know that he asked for a trade, and then he said, "Okay, I'm going to be a Buck this year." I know that a lot of people in the league don't think he'll be a Buck next year.
Okay, so then that makes its rounds on social media. Gets people all up in a tizzy. I personally am going, okay, but this is Windhorst saying essentially nothing different than what he reported during the summer.
Right. He's buddy with Shams saying the same stuff.
But now people are freaking out about it because of the social media scrubbing.
Right. I'm looking at it right now. I'm looking at social media scrubs in pro sports to see can Google Gemini help me if Giannis is going to get traded or not during this? And Micah Parsons did do the same thing with Dallas. Social media scrub
before he requested a trade,
before he moved on to Green Bay in our favor in this.
Yeah, but I don't like that.
Well, again, if we're talking about universe balancing itself out, Packers make unreal, crazy trade you could have never seen happening that benefits them. Do the Bucks follow and go on the opposite end of that spectrum?
That's a good point, and that might be the case. As then, not even 2 hours later, we see breaking news from Shams, who then goes on ESPN and says this.
Sources tell me that Giannis Antetokounmpo and his agent Alex Saratzis have started open conversations and dialogue with the Bucks about his future, whether that's staying in Milwaukee or the realities of a trade to move elsewhere. My understanding is a resolution to this, and whether it leads to a trade request is expected to occur in the coming weeks. This is a Bucks team that's 9-13. They've lost 8 of their last 9 games before today's matchup against the Detroit Pistons. And remember, in the offseason, Giannis had concerns over the team's roster and its ability to truly compete. And fast forward now, the locker room, I'm told, can feel the tension at play with Giannis. Giannis, sources told me, has been frustrated over the losing recently, just as the organization has been with John Horst, the general manager, the coach, Doc Rivers. There's been frustration abound, and it's inching closer to what one source described to me as the writing on the wall.
Dude, I mean, this guy, look, maybe it's right this time, but Shams does not deserve credit for this.
100%. I'm with you.
This is literally just the would it be a shock to say it's the 10th time he's made these accusations?
At least.
You could say 20 times that over the last 4 years or 3 seasons, maybe, Shams has been saying how Giannis, the writing is on the wall for Giannis. To say that again, where the writing's on the wall, you've been writing it on the wall for 3 years, Shams. So the victory lap, if it does happen, he does not deserve this at all.
So then we get to game time, because as all this is going on, social media is burning the city of Milwaukee down, essentially. Everyone is losing their minds. But there's a basketball game that's going to be played. And so everyone is at the arena at Fiserv, including Giannis. And Doc Rivers talks before the game.
So here we go again. There's been no conversations. I want to make it clear, just I would say one more time, but for the 50th time, it clearly is not getting the one network for sure. Giannis has never asked to be traded, ever. I can't make that more clear.
And now I thought, when I heard that, I was like, oh, okay. So here we go.
Yeah.
That's a little bit different than anything we've heard. And I thought that would maybe get some fans back in the realm of at least questioning it again. Of, could we have been fooled
back down to
again?
Earth? Yes, like we've been through this before
so many times. And that's not what happened. It really seemed like a lot of people doubled down on not being a fan of Doc, saying Doc's a liar. He clearly has no idea or just isn't willing to admit it. Giannis is gone. Those were a lot of the things that I was seeing.
Yeah.
From
I don't
overall
hate
fan perspective.
I don't hate the take that Doc has no idea what's going on. But, I mean, I can say that is the first time we've heard someone from the Bucks organization, whether it is executive, coaching, Giannis, teammate, basically say, this is a lie. Like, this has not happened. And we have been begging for someone from that organization to do that one time in the last 3 years.
Right.
And they never did. And he never got traded.
Correct.
So now, again, they say something. Let's see if they can back it up.
Now, on top of that, I had a lot of people, that I talked to after that report came out that said, well, of course he's going to say that. What else would he say? And I went, I don't know, the same thing that all coaches say in those situations. What happens, with Giannis and all of that is not the concern. We're focusing on the game tonight. We've been struggling. This is a big game at home against a great opponent. We're making sure that our team is ready to go. Giannis is ready to go tonight, and we're going to put our best foot forward and make sure that this team comes away with a win.
Yeah, I haven't seen social media, whatever it is.
We're focusing on the game.
Yep.
That's what coaches do.
Yep.
In those situations. That's not how Doc handled it. Doc out right away was like, let's squash this. Boom. There's nothing. I'm telling you, my source is the guy, and there hasn't been anything. Very, very interesting. Then, whether you wanted it or not, Giannis is playing. He's there. They announce him. Crowd seemed to have a good pop for him when he was announced. Very, 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 very early in that game. this happens.
Giannis dancing in the mid-range, finding a cutting AJ Green.
And that's the key. Giannis is down, Lisa. Doesn't look good. Does not look good.
And Giannis gingerly, just moments ago, walking on his own power back to the locker room with the medical staff following him.
Awkwardly.
Giannis goes down, and we don't even know what it is. Non-contact injury.
Yeah.
And people immediately are going, are you kidding me? Laughing at this, calling it a fake injury, saying that he's just, man, he wants out of Milwaukee so bad that he's faking an injury to be able to have time to go talk to teams, blah, 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 all of these other things. Crazy up and down day that then ends with, as we played at the beginning of the show, a huge Bucks comeback win. At one point, they had 4 points, like halfway through the first quarter.
They were down 18 in this game at a point.
And they come back, they win the game without Giannis, who obviously did not return. And then after the game, we find out that Achilles has been ruled out, but they're still doing an MRI. They're thinking, what'd they say, calf?
Yeah, calf strain.
It's
his right calf this time. It was his left calf that kept him out earlier this year. I thought it looked like he got rolled an ankle, I guess, during that exchange. And then there is kind of contact from the initial drive that maybe set something off, and then Giannis tried to take another step with it and couldn't. But it did not look good when he just fell to the ground and was waiting to be picked up and walked to the locker room for sure.
So a very up and down, crazy day for Bucks fans, Giannis fans, just fans of drama. Really,
it was a great day for fans with drama.
In regards to sports, we're going to make sure to get your opinions on this because I want to hear from all of you on after all of this happened yesterday. Where are you right now? Where are you sitting? Who are you believing? What do you want to happen? What do you think is going to happen? What's next for Giannis and what's next for this Milwaukee Bucks team? Coming up next and through the rest of the show. So next up, I have questions, and Tommy has a really good question in regards to Packers-Bears because, oh yeah, the Packers play the Bears in a huge game this weekend. Did Giannis not think about that before he started all this drama? No. Made it all about himself. Then we'll have the most electrifying sound, morning mind dump at the top of the 7 o'clock hour. Then yesterday, Sparky out at the toy drive had Matt Arnold, Brewers president and GM, out there. Some interesting notes came out of that. Then our boy Rami Makloff of 9 to Noon will join the show for a little Packers and Bears from a Bears perspective. And then the 8 o'clock hour, Ty Windish of the Eurostep podcast will join us, followed by Caitlin Sharkey, WGN TV sports anchor and reporter in Chicago. She's also a Wisconsin native. Very excited. Haven't talked to Caitlin in a while. And then, of course, What's Up Wisconsin. It's going to be a great show. We hope that you are strapped in and ready to go. It's going to be a passionate show. There's going to be a lot of feelings. We're going to talk it out. I'm very excited for what we have in store. I also want to make sure that everyone knows about that toy drive I just mentioned that we have going on. It's the 19th annual toy drive for Children's Wisconsin and Robin's Nest. We want you to be a part of it. We want you to help us raise money for Children's Wisconsin and Robin's Nest. You can donate online at wisportsradio.com, or you can text TOYS to 34984. That's TOYS to 34984. And then later in the day, you can go to Blaine's Farm and Fleet on Rawson Avenue in Oak Creek. They'll be collecting cash and toys all week long from 8 to 6 p.m., 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. today through the end of the week, through Friday. You can see Sparky. Sparky has been living there, just doing it. This is his thing.
Crushing it. Crushing it.
and it's amazing.
Did you see the Steelwind Industry receipt yesterday?
I did not.
They came by, I believe it was yesterday. I don't think it was 2 days ago now. They bought $6,600 worth of toys.
That's awesome.
At Farm and Fleet yesterday. And the receipt is just like ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's awesome,
Yeah,
actually.
yeah.
So
Get that bad boy framed.
Lot of good stuff happening down at the toy drive.
Yes, and we want you to be a part of it. And if for some reason you can't make it out to Oak Creek, or maybe you work from 8 to 6 and you can't make it out, you can stop by Natty Oaks in West Dallas. You can drop off your toy or cash or whatever you want to donate, and they will shuttle it to the toy drive for you. It's the 19th annual toy drive for Children's Wisconsin and Robin's Nest, brought to you by Tri-City National Bank, Steelwind Industries, By the Yard, and Metro by T-Mobile. Coming up next, it is I Have Questions on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Boom. Man, we flipping nailed that. That was great. No, that was a great segment. Caught everyone up. Boom. There you go. I love that this person calls them the pieces.
The pieces?
The 608 says, good morning, sports are a crazy thing. Giannis goes down in 3 minutes after a day of media and his agent talking about a trade was a legitimate injury. Then the pieces win a game that Detroit should have won by 20. The pieces woke up at least for one game. They're not the Milwaukee Bucks, they're Milwaukee pieces.
God, you know what I've done with Snipping Tool so many times in my life?
Welcome back to Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. I'm Josh Albrecht. Trevor is out today. It is not with a calf strain. He has not requested a trade. He will be back tomorrow.
Have you ever thought that Trevor's calf is probably longer than any other muscle in our body?
I hadn't until now.
That's probably right. I mean,
that is Tommy Wartz joining me here on the program this morning. We're glad that you guys are here too, chiming in. Appreciate everything already coming in on the Nicolay Law Fan Talking text line. Be a part of the conversation today at 414-677-1250. And Tommy, this is the part of the show where we say, I have questions.
When things just don't add up, Trevor and Josh ask the hard questions or just point out how messed up stuff is.
I only have one question. Can you fly this plane and land it? Surely you can't be serious.
Do you view this season as a failure?
You asked me the same question last year.
What's the most important question the Badgers have to answer Saturday?
This is a great question. Oh my God, this is a great question.
It's time for I Have Questions on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh.
I have questions. You have questions. We have questions. Get your questions in now. As I mentioned on that Nicolay Law Fan Talking text line, 414-677-1250. Tommy, you have a question.
I do. And I thought of this yesterday when we were brainstorming for the segments. And it's a big week. It's Packers-Bears week. Feels like it's the most meaningful Packers-Bears game in maybe a decade right now.
Yep.
And the question I came up with was, is this game on Sunday a battle for the best quarterback in the NFC North? Jordan Love, Caleb Williams. I think everyone's out on J.J. McCarthy for right now. I think that's safe to say.
He's a far fourth.
Or 9, however you call him.
Yeah, fair.
Jared Goff, I think a lot of people are thinking now he's more of a, quote, system quarterback where Sean McVay or Ben Johnson has to be with him in order for him to be unlocked fully. And now we've seen Jordan Love off to maybe his best start through 14 games, 14 weeks now. And Caleb Williams, who looks a lot better in his second season than he did in his rookie season right now. So my question being, will the winner of this game be crowned the best quarterback in the NFC North?
I think it depends a lot on which team wins.
It's also really awkward when you play the same team twice in 3 weeks. So
now that's an interesting point, because even though you play them twice, and maybe it's just because we have this game coming up first, but I feel like this game matters way more than when they'll meet again in Chicago. And that could be simply just because more things are going to happen in between those two games. There's going to be another game in between, to where maybe, you know, if the Packers win that game and the Bears lose that game after the Packers beat the Bears, then the game against the Bears doesn't hold as much, as much weight. I don't know. I will say this. I think that if the Packers win and Jordan Love has a great game against Caleb Williams, your question will be answered of it determining that Jordan Love is the best quarterback. As it sits right now, I definitely think that Jordan Love is a better quarterback than Caleb Williams.
Right.
I think that Caleb Williams is having a better season, but I still think that there are a lot of things that he needs to work on that everyone is pretty aware of.
I think Jordan Love's having a better year than Caleb Williams.
Yeah.
And I think that Jordan Love, I would rather have him this year on this Packers team than Caleb Williams. But as of now, quarterbacks are judged on winning more than any other player in any other position in the sport. And they're especially judged on postseason success and victories within a season. Jordan Love right now is currently in second place, 8-3-1 to the Bears, 9-3, right? So I think that a lot of people were saying coming into this year, the argument was between Jordan Love and Jared Goff, right? And it was only because Jared Goff was winning more than Jordan Love. So I think this conversation and this narrative shifts to the other team that is winning more, the Chicago Bears, versus the Detroit Lions, who are not winning as much and looking less impressive. A big game today against Dallas, too, for Thursday Night Football. But Jordan Love this year, he has a 67% completion percentage to Caleb Williams' 58, by the way. He has 27.94 on his yards, while Caleb Williams is 27.22. He has 19 touchdowns. Caleb has 17 touchdowns. Jordan Love has 3 interceptions to Caleb Williams' 5 interceptions. The quarterback rating for Jordan Love, 104.3 this season, and Caleb Williams at 88.2. I definitely think Jordan Love is having the better year as of right now, but ultimately head-to-head is now going to weigh much bigger on that. And last year, Caleb Williams got the first victory against the Green Bay Packers in, 5 years? So a lot of high hopes for him in Chicago as well.
I think that the narratives of what's going to be printed on the paper on Monday is already kind of set. You know, if Caleb Williams has a great game and the Bears beat the Packers, God forbid, then I think it's going to come out and say it's a changing of the guard.
Yeah, new sheriff in town.
Right.
The
Bears prove they can do it back to back, and that they are a real contender. They put the NFL on notice. New kings of the North ?
Right.
All of those things play out. If the Packers win, I don't think that it creates anywhere near the same narrative. I think it's just more Packers prove Bears were paper tiger. Packers prove they're legitimate, ready to make Super Bowl run. Those type of headlines, I think, are what get printed. So to answer your question, I think that the only change that really happens is if Jordan Love and the Packers have a better day than Caleb Williams. I think if Caleb Williams has and the Bears have a better day than Love and the Packers, it's not going to discredit Love enough to say that Caleb Williams is now the best QB in the NFC North. I think it's just going to come down to them saying Caleb Williams is just increasing in every category, and Bears fans have something to really be excited about.
Yeah, but it just feels like everyone looks for a reason. Maybe it's a loud minority, but everyone looks for a reason to tear down Jordan Love. Not like we see in any other sport or any other athlete in this state, right? I think that you can't find the same thing for an impactful player on the Brewers. You don't see people doing the same thing to Giannis on the Bucks either. But if Jordan Love doesn't win this football game, there will be Packers fans that claim Caleb Williams is better.
So let's say that Jordan Love puts up 3 touchdowns and the Bears run all over the Packers defense. The fact that Devontae Wyatt's not in there really, really shows, and they lose the game by 3, and Caleb Williams had 1 touchdown. You think people are still going to make that argument?
I think that Jordan Love's never safe from the doubters because of his history, and not his history, but this team's history. And I think that he will forever be compared to the 2 guys before him, and he will never be able to shake that narrative until he is ultimately at the top of the mountain, if that were to be the case. And even still, how many times did Aaron Rodgers get compared to Brett Favre? All the time. He had to completely separate himself, being the guy who never throws interceptions, in order to finally stop getting compared to Brett Favre. And now Jordan Love's in a terrible boat, because if he throws a bunch of interceptions, he's Brett Favre. If he throws no interceptions, he's Aaron Rodgers. But if he doesn't win a Super Bowl, he never lives up to either of them. So that's why I think he's just in a terrible situation as far as expectations go. Not that they should not have them. I think that that's one of my favorite things about Packer fandom, is that the expectation is Super Bowl every single year. And that is something that winning organizations do. Now, has it come back with egg on our face for a couple of years now here? Absolutely.
Yeah, decade, yeah.
How many NFC championship blunders are you going to have? But it's totally different than if you are a Minnesota Vikings fan who is, you know what? As long as we go 2-15 and beat the Packers twice, like it's a successful season. The Packers could not care less about the regular season success and the fans, at least, compared to the postseason success, which some team and some fan bases can't even think about getting to the postseason at this point.
Well, and that's a really good point, and something that I'm excited we're going to have on Rami from 9 to noon, who's going to join us at the end of the 7 o'clock hour today. Rami is lived here. He does not do the show from Chicago, but he is a diehard Chicago sports fan. He is a Bears fan that does a show with a former Green Bay Packer, and I'm excited to just talk to him about his mindset going into this game as a fan. And does it change? Because I feel like a lot of the conversation for years that Bears fans have had is exactly what you just said about Vikings fans. Of their Super Bowl is the 2 games they get to play the Packers. And if they could just beat the Packers, that's all they care about. They know that their team's not good enough to make a run. This year is different. If they beat the Packers, they have a chance to be the number 1 seed in the NFC.
Yeah, they are right now.
So I'm saying, like, even at the end of it.
Right.
So
yeah.
These 2 games against the Packers mean way more than just beating the Packers. But I wonder if that's the mindset and the mentality of Bears fans, because for so long it hasn't been. Is it possible for them to just flip that switch and go, yeah, we want to beat the Packers, but we also want to win a Super Bowl?
Well, the last time the Bears made the postseason, it was 2020, and they went 8-8 that year. They're already better than that. They already have more than 8 victories this season. And when we talk to Rami, I assume it'll go similar to Ricky Bobby's first ever post-race speech, where he's like in the same energy of, I don't know what to do with my hands right now.
Yeah.
Freaking out because this is uncharted recently for the Bears and their success in the regular season and the play out of their quarterback and their competitiveness in the NFC North, quite frankly.
Yeah, I agree with you. I'm very excited to talk to Rami. You're not going to want to miss that. Also, we got so many guests lined up. We also have Ty Windish, who's joining us at 8 o'clock from the Eurostep podcast, talking Giannis and Bucks. And then friend of the show, Kaylin Sharkey of WGN TV, sports anchor and reporter over there, talking all things Chicago sports, but a Wisconsin native who got her start here, giving us a little bit more clue into how things are going behind enemy lines. Coming up next on the program, it is the most electrifying sound of the day, and it is not electrifying sound I thought we would be playing based on everything that happened yesterday with the Milwaukee Bucks. Stay tuned. This is Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Welcome back, Wisconsin. This is Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. Josh Albrecht here. Trevor Thomas, scheduled day off. Nothing to worry about.
Yeah, you got Trevor Thomas Wirtz instead.
That's right. That's right. Oh, I like that.
Yeah,
just get rid of the Trevor part.
Yeah, it's literally Trevor, like also, right? He's Trevor Thomas. And then
you guys are that Wheel of Fortune.
Right, before and after.
The before and
we
after.
We are before and after.
Look at you two.
Also, no one calls me Thomas here, but
that's
it
true.
Works. It works.
That's true. You are Tommy. That is Tommy. Tommy Wirtz filling in for Trevor today. Make sure to follow the program on the interwebs. If you are just listening, you can stream the show and be a part of the show on YouTube and on X. I call it Twitter because it is Twitter at WI Sports Radio. And if so, you will see us talking about the most electrifying sound of the day.
It's time for
the most electrifying
sound of the day.
The most electrifying
on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. Brought to you by Best Electric. Learn more at bestelect.com. Don't stress. Connect with the best.
Nice.
Cuts a lead to one. AJ Kuz with the offensive rebound. Here's Derek Bird. Checks behind him. Hits. Pucks on top.
Oh,
Derek Bird delivers.
Oh, yeah. That is the most electrifying sound of the day, brought to you by our friends at Best Electric. Remember, no job is too big or too small for Best Electric. Don't stress. Connect with the best. Call them today or visit bestelect.com. If you thought at any point yesterday, hey, you know what I bet tomorrow's most electrifying sound is going to be? Back-to-back AJ Green threes within a 20-second span. That's going to give the Bucks the lead without Giannis over the first place Detroit Pistons.
Yeah.
I owe you $5.
I am on record being, I think me and Charlie are the two biggest Derry Bird fans here. Sparky notoriously just hates AJ Green.
Doesn't like him.
I mean, he just compares it to Pat Connaughton, which is just not at all the same player at all. And then it's like, oh, you're paying him $12 million or $9 million, whatever it is. Like that's like $10 in the NBA. I don't think you understand that, Sparky. Like that's while that is an insane amount of money in the NBA to get a guy on a contract like that, there is not a 0% chance, by the way, that AJ Green is not the Bucks all-time leader in three-pointers made by the end of that contract.
Ooh.
I'm just saying, it's not a 0% chance. If he
not
hits,
a good chance, but not a zero chance.
Well, if he's on the team for 5 more years and he hits 200 threes a year, it puts him at 1,000, and he was at like 260 coming into this year.
We don't do a lot of math.
Well, that would be right next to where Chris Middleton is.
Okay.
Basically. So it's not a 0% chance is all
not
I'm
a
saying.
zero. It didn't seem like it was a 0% chance that Bucks fans are out on their belief in this team without Giannis, which was surprising. It definitely looked like after Giannis went down in that game yesterday that this Bucks team turned it on. The way they were playing defense, they were way more aggressive than I'd seen them playing. And they come back, they have a gritty win. And it had me wondering, okay, is there any belief out there that if this team does move on from Giannis and they get draft picks to rebuild the future, that this team can be anything without him?
Well, if we're in the trust tree here, I don't have much faith in this team with Giannis Antetokounmpo on the team right now.
Yeah.
As far as, again, championship aspirations go.
Well, I'm saying you take Giannis off of it. You look at this
Right.
team. I'm saying, is this team right now? I think before last night, they were in the play-in. They were in a play-in spot if the season were to end, which there's a ton of season left. But that's where they sat. Do you see them, if Giannis does get traded, if you know they keep him out with this injury bug until they trade him or whatever ends up happening, do you think that this Bucks team still has a shot to do something with the season?
Maybe a play-in game. I don't see a scenario in which they are a top 6 seed if Giannis is not a part of this organization. And if I was going to tell you about how I feel about the rest of the lineup, I just think that Ryan Rollins, I know he has really stepped up in a lot of roles when Giannis hasn't been on the court, but I struggle to really buy into his offensive production because I just keep comparing it to Bradley Beal on the Wizards, where, Bradley Beal looked awesome on the Wizards because he was a good player and a volume shooter on a terrible team. And the Wizards were never anything. They were getting number 1 overall picks with Bradley Beal and top 5 picks because of the lottery. And he was putting up 30 points a night, right? And he looked awesome. Well, since he left the Wizards, he's not even putting up 20 points a night on his other teams.
Yeah.
So I will say this. I do have faith in, you saw it yesterday, Ryan Rollins is a menace on defense. Like, he was guarding Cade Cunningham a lot of the game at the end of the time in the crunch time moments, and he still gets up his shots. I was also I was at game 1 with Rami Makloff, who will be coming up later on in this show too, and I got to see Kevin Porter Jr. start to the season, which looked great. He obviously goes out with the injury, but since coming back, even, this team is way different and the pace is way different. So I do think he does play an important role with this team for the near future, at least, as well. I just don't think that this team stays afloat. I don't even know what picks are anymore. The Bucks haven't had a pick in forever. Like, now I got to put all my faith in picks if they trade Giannis.
Well, but that's exactly it, because they traded away any thought of that to keep Giannis on the team. And we're going to get to this coming up next at the top of the hour in the morning mind dump about just where everyone sits now with Giannis. Because I feel like after yesterday, emotions are flying from sports fans, Wisconsin sports fans, Bucks fans. It's very interesting. We're gonna read your texts already that have came in this morning regards to that on the Nicolay Law Fan Talking text line. You can get them in now as well, 414-677-1250. We also want you, when you're on your phones, to be texting toys to 34984 for the 19th annual toy drive for Children's Wisconsin and Robin's Nest. You can, of course, also go to and donate online at wisportsradio.com. And then, starting at 8 a.m., you can go to Blaine's Farm and Fleet on Rawson Avenue in Oak Creek, where they will be collecting cash and toys all this week. Sparky will be there. Other shows will be there. Stop out. Help this amazing cause. If for some reason you can't make it to Oak Creek, you can stop by Natty Oaks in West Dallas to drop off your toy, and they will shuttle it to the toy drive for you. It's the 19th annual toy drive for Children's Wisconsin and Robin's Nest, brought to you by Tri-City National Bank, Steelwind Industries, By the Yard, and Metro by T-Mobile. Coming up next, it is the morning mind dump, is the time when we get things off our chest. And boy, after yesterday, do we have a lot of things to get off our chest. Get your morning mind dumps in now on the Nicolay Law Fan Talking text line, 414-677-1250. I'm Josh Albrecht. That is Tommy Wartz. This is Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh, and we are live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook.
I am an eternal optimist. So please, God, don't God that you're an eternal pessimist.
I like to say I'm a realist.
Oh, great. We're leading along great. This is going to be great.
This is Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh.
Missed it. Falls through. 6 in the hands of Trevor. He's going to hang on. And the Bucks hang on. Their grittiest, most gratifying win without Giannis comes tonight. And they take down the Detroit Pistons, the best team in the East.
They sure did. The Bucks take care of the Pistons without Giannis. Josh Albrecht here, Tommy Wirtz filling in. We're taking care of Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh without Trevor. Trevor, with his scheduled day off, he did not scrub his social media. He did not request a trade. He will be back tomorrow. We are glad that you are here. You guys have been chiming in. Love all the text messages we're getting on the Nicolay Law Fan Talking text line. Be a part of the conversation, 414-677-1250. And this is it. This is the time. I love this every morning. It's time to get things off our chest. We like to joke, Tommy, the coffee is kicked in. You're looking to start your day, get things going. But first, you got to get that morning mind up.
The coffee is kicked in. We're awake and ready to roll. Let's get some things off our chest and out of our heads.
You don't know what it's like to be me out here for you. It is an up at dawn, pride-swallowing siege that I will never fully tell you about, okay?
I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not gonna take this anymore!
I'm in a glass case of emotion!
What we've got here is failure to communicate.
We got no food, we got no jobs, our pets' heads are falling off!
It's time for the Morning Mind Dump on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh.
It is indeed time for the morning mind dump. Mine is going to be, Tommy, very Bucks and Giannis centric.
Okay.
I want to start here with a tweet from Tyler Herrick, who is the social media for, he runs the social media for Cheesehead TV.
Okay.
So, Packers. But he's a great follow, by the way, but he puts out a tweet that said, in regards yesterday to the Bucks, team sucks, Giannis leaving. No, he's not. Yes, he is. Okay, maybe not. Just kidding, he's dead. Nice, we won.
Yeah.
If you only have a limited amount of characters, that's not a bad way.
That's
not a bad way.
That actually just sums up. All right, let's go to break. We got it. Yeah, nice.
That's what you missed. It was a roller coaster of emotions yesterday. I had, if you thought people before were doing wellness checks, welfare checks on me to make sure that I was doing okay, man, did they come in hot and heavy yesterday as things continued to progress with what I'm calling Giannis Saga, because it was just up and down. I don't know what to believe anymore, where we sit. And then for all of that to play out and then have the Bucks go and win the game when Giannis, I don't even think it counted for him, like officially playing in the game. Like he didn't play long enough for it. I don't know. I heard some type of report on the radio call. He was in so little.
Yeah, he played 3 minutes.
And then he went out. We know that it's not an Achilles injury. Doc Rivers ruled that out after the game. He got an MRI. We don't know the results of that. We're thinking calf strain. It all seemed very suspicious. And the thing that's frustrating to me, and you know, Tommy, I like to say, don't tell me how to fan.
Right.
Okay. I'm not telling people how to fan. You can be upset however you want to be, whether it's at the team, Giannis, or anything else. But I want, from the people that feel that way, I need you to explain yourself more, because I feel like it is kind of crazy to me how quickly people are turning on Giannis. I understand these reports that have come out. Giannis, to this point, has still said nothing. Some people are upset that he hasn't said anything. It's not his job to constantly have to say something. And are these reports true? Maybe. Maybe they were true years ago. I don't know. because they get made all the time. But the amount of people that saw Giannis go down yesterday and were like, fake injury. See, he wants out so bad. This is it. He's done with us, man. He is done with us. And good riddance. We should have gotten rid of Giannis years ago. And I'm just sitting there and I'm going, I didn't see all of this 2 weeks ago.
Right.
I didn't see any of this when Giannis went down with that injury and the Bucks were on at that point 4 or 5 game losing streak.
Yeah.
It was, gosh, this is proof we need Giannis back. This team is nothing without him. And now you're so quick to say, good riddance, get rid of him. Who needs him? I don't understand it, man.
I think that Giannis is deep down to his core a competitor, right? And he is a guy who likes to, take the Mamba mentality, right, of Kobe Bryant and always going as, they don't load management Giannis with missing games. They limit his minutes, right? He wants to be out on the court and he has one speed all the time. So the thought in my head never came across as Giannis is faking this injury and is trying to get out. He's trying to get out of Milwaukee. That is a James Harden move, right? That's showing up to practice, 40 pounds overweight or something along that line. That's not what Giannis does. However, a part of this, and in my morning mind dump for you, I did anyone else think the word, and I don't want this to come off as I was happy for this or rooting for this, but because of the circumstances that had all happened and all unfolded yesterday during the day, did the word karma ever appear in your brain? And again, not that you were saying like, karma for that, but just like, whoa, what are the odds? The timing worked out so perfectly where it is now, it feels like we have the most concrete evidence of Giannis being on the trade market or trade talks happening with Giannis, at least trade conversations in the early stages happening with Giannis. And then on the same day, oh my gosh, a non-contact injury on the court. What's going on, right? That it wasn't a karma of I'm glad this happened by any means. It was just, what are the odds the timing worked out so perfectly that this day where all of the noise is happening and then the injury happens to Giannis?
Yeah, I mean, I would switch out your word karma for irony.
Right.
It was just
same
super,
deal.
It was super ironic through this entire roller coaster that then when all eyes are on Giannis to see what he does, how he acts, trying to just get anything they can to put some validity to all the rumors, everything else, because to that point, we hadn't heard anything from Giannis or anyone inside the Bucks organization besides Doc, who had said, there's no truth to any of it. My source is Giannis, and he has never requested a trade. Never. So everyone's watching that, and then Giannis goes down. And it was definitely ironic, and it was wild. I want to go here to the Nicolay Law Fan Talking text line, 414-677-1250, where the 414 chimes in, says, yeah, I saw Giannis walk back to the locker room. It was a slow walk out of Milwaukee. Could not have been any more clear. The handwriting is on the wall. Straight Hollywood. A lot of people. I was not there last night. I saw it on TV, but a lot of people saying that it looked fake. It looked like he wasn't in it, and that he's just straight up hasn't been in it.
So what if instead, now your morning mind dump of are people turning on Giannis too quickly? What if you change that to, is Giannis turning on Milwaukee quicker than people thought that was going to happen?
Oh, I absolutely think he is.
So again,
this is a guy that thought he never would.
Right. I mean, he's so big in the community, and they got the murals, and he brought a championship to a team who hadn't done it in 50 years. He's not just one of the best players in the history of the organization, but one of the best players in the history of the league at the position. You're talking about a guy who now is in his 5th straight season of averaging 30 points a night. Like, this guy is all-time level player, but I will say this. It feels like for the first time with this that people are expecting answers out of Giannis more, because every time we've heard the report from Shams or from Windhorse or whoever it might have been, it was basically, he's not going anywhere. We know Giannis better than you guys. He loves it here. He's treated like a king. No one's going to talk about it. Stop. You don't know what you're talking about. Well, now yesterday, it felt like that shifted into a different gear of, okay, what the hell's going on? Giannis say something. We have to ask Doc about it now to see what's going on. And Shams is saying it's all but done. It's writing on the wall. What are we talking about here? So it feels like your question of, are people turning on Giannis too quickly? Is Giannis turning on Milwaukee quicker than people thought would happen? Could also be another part of this.
Here's that Doc audio, by the way, of him just responding to everything that played out with Giannis during the day prior to the game.
So here we go again. There's been no conversations. I want to make it clear just I would say one more time, but for the 50th time, it clearly is not getting the one network for sure. Giannis has never asked to be traded, ever. I can't make that more clear.
I just think it's wild. I mean, not that I super trust Doc Rivers, but the amount of people that immediately discredited that and just went, yeah, Doc doesn't know anything.
Yeah, I mean,
and
Doc
I'm like,
doesn't know anything.
Okay, so you're in the same boat. It's wild to me that how quickly people can say, I believe Shams, I believe Windhorse, I don't believe Doc. I'm in the boat of saying, I don't believe anybody.
Yeah.
I can't. It's so up in the air. It's so crazy. And here's the worst part. Everyone wants Giannis to talk. I promise you, people, if Giannis came out and he said, yeah, I really hate that everyone's talking about this. I committed to this team. I play for the Milwaukee Bucks. I want to win a championship with the Bucks. I want to be competitive. This is my team. We're going to keep going. People are going to change that. People are going to turn that into, yeah, but did you hear him say he wanted to be competitive? The Bucks aren't competitive, so he probably still wants out. It's just, it doesn't matter. And I love this from Esser Nobles, it looks like 1053 on Twitter, who said this is all speculation. If he leaves, he leaves. If he doesn't, he doesn't. Get a grip, people. I know it's difficult, and I'm not telling people how to feel your emotions in regards to Giannis, but here's what I said on my Twitter at OnAirJosh yesterday when the news broke from Shams. I said, if it's in 2 years, 2 weeks, or 2 days, when Giannis is no longer with the Milwaukee Bucks, it's going to hurt. Until that day inevitably comes, I will be grateful he calls Milwaukee home. Plain and simple.
I think it hurts less now.
Why?
I just feel like, again, we're in this boat of expecting it. It's the first time that expectation of the Giannis trade is now against Bucks fans.
Is it because the Bucks aren't winning? If
could be.
Let's say that over the next 5 games, Giannis is out for another week, and the Bucks win every single game that he's out for. And then he comes back, and he's still playing. He hasn't been traded. Are you then feeling like everything's fine, and then you're saying that Shams and Windhorse were wrong?
Well, what I will say to defend Giannis is he has nothing left to prove for this organization. I mean, he's already going down as the greatest player the Bucks have ever seen. He's the all-time leader in points. He got them a championship, MVPs. He's one of the best ever. Like, I would love to see Giannis retire and play his entire career on the Milwaukee Bucks. But as far as, is he a guy that needs to do anything more for this city? No, he does not. If he wins another championship, he only adds to it. If he wins another MVP, he only adds to it. But he has already hit the threshold of sufficient as far as being a member of the Milwaukee Bucks. And his expectations of the 18-year-old 160-pounder, whatever he came in out of Greece that no one heard of, like they took a huge risk on him, and they got their return on investment way more than they could have ever imagined with this team. They had much higher expectations for a Jabari Parker than they did for a Giannis Antetokounmpo at the time.
Going to the Nicolay Law fan talking text line here, 414-677-1250. 414 said, I think he faked his injury so he can sit up until the trade deadline. A lot of people feel the same way. The 864 says, Giannis is a legend. I begged for them to move on 2 years ago when we could rebuild. He's the best player to ever do it, best guy ever. This needed to happen before we got to this point. The Packers do it correctly. A lot of people said that they should have moved on from Rodgers
2 years early.
2 years early. So I don't know that I necessarily, agree with
also,
that.
Also, just a different money game. Like
right.
Everyone working under the same rules in the NFL and in the NBA. There's kind of a salary cap, but there's really not if you're rich. So I mean, it's not necessarily apples and oranges, but it's not the same thing.
The 920 here, Josh. I get it. I understand. Guess what? You can't please everyone. Yeah, I know. And that's the great thing about having this discussion. That's why we're focusing on this, because so many people feel so many different ways. And I'm not telling anyone how to fan. I just want people to explain what it is that's different this time, that's making people feel this way, and why they feel this way.
I feel like we haven't had a real report of Giannis has talked to his agents, right?
Right. The only thing we had was Shams that said that Giannis and his agent have asked to start conversations about his future and if it makes sense for him to stay in Milwaukee.
Right. And I feel like we haven't had a
wording on that,
like
by the
that.
way. All of the wording on that, by the way, is not he's requesting a trade. They could very easily go into this and Giannis could say, I need to know what our plan is. Here's the bigger conversation that I think needs to take place of what else could the Bucks do at this point. The reason why the Bucks couldn't move on from Giannis 2 years ago is that the Bucks went all in on Giannis every year they could.
Yes.
And so when you do that, you're pot committed to Giannis. You move on from him. You're not getting this haul. You're not rebuilding the team.
Even this season, it was the best they could do with going all in with him. Did it ever mean that the expectation was championship? No, but they cut Damian Lillard. They're paying him $20 million a year to not play basketball for them. They bring in Miles Turner, which they thought was the best replacement of a Brook Lopez-esque player to be put back on this team.
Which had people jacked, by the way.
Yes.
Oh, people were so excited when that news came out.
It was such a creative way to acquire a player that no one had ever seen it before in the NBA. The Bucks have pulled out every stop in an effort to keep Giannis happy and keep Giannis and the Bucks competitive in the NBA landscape. It just didn't work out. And sometimes these things don't work out.
Andy in Brookfield says, I'm back on the nothing is true unless it's from the mouth of Giannis train. I was too much in my feelings last night after a couple of bourbons. Yeah, nice. we were all in our feelings, I feel like, yesterday, one way or another. Believe it or not, there was a lot of news beyond Giannis that came out in regards to Wisconsin sports yesterday. Specifically, I said when it rains, it pours. Some information about Freddie Peralta trade rumors. More trade rumors saying the Bucks are now opening up the option of the considering trade options for Freddie Peralta. Well, Brewers president and GM Matt Arnold joined Sparky at the toy drive yesterday, and he talked about just that. We're going to get to that and more when we come back on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh, live, as Sparky would say, from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Might have been the song playing, a little Goo Goo Dolls might have been the song playing yesterday as you stared out the window, contemplating your fandom. So we try to figure out what's going on with Giannis and this Milwaukee Bucks
can
team.
you not have trade rumors when it's the coldest of the entire year too?
Or when the Packers are playing a humongous game against the Bears.
I just want to go outside and not hate being outside.
Yeah.
I do this. I've lived here my entire life, and if I haven't lived here, I've lived in Minnesota, and it sucks. Winter sucks, man.
It is a little chilly. It is a little chilly, but it still made perfect sense to get out to the 19th annual toy drive for Children's Wisconsin and Robin's Nest at Blaine's Farm and Fleet on Rawson Avenue in Oak Creek. They are collecting cash and toys this week from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. today through Friday. If you can't make it out there, you live other parts of the state, you can donate online at wisportsradio.com, or you can text TOYS to 34984. That again, toys to 34984. And if you can't make it to Oak Creek, you can stop by Natty Oaks in West Dallas and drop off your toy, and they will shuttle it to the toy drive for you. It's the 19th annual toy drive for Children's Wisconsin and Robin's Nest, brought to you by Tri-City National Bank, Steelwind Industries, By the Yard, and Metro by T-Mobile. Yesterday out there at the toy drive, Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's, with Steve Sparky Pfeiffer. Sparky, of course, out there at the toy drive. We were talking during the break how we barely even seen Sparky this week because he's been living out there at the toy drive. Well, Matt Arnold, Brewers president and GM, joined him. I'm sure, there were plenty of things to discuss, but amid all of these rumors, I saw a few people that were retweeting this Bleacher Report, a tweet talking about how the Brewers are considering options for Freddie Peralta. And someone said, why is it when it rains, it pours? What is today? National Let's Start Rumors About Wisconsin Athletes Day? It did seem like, man, you really have to add this today. Well, it was also a heck of a day to have Matt Arnold on the airwaves and be able to ask him some questions about it. And here's what happened when Sparky was talking to him about Freddie Peralta.
Got to talk about Freddie Peralta. 1 year, $8 million left. Have you all talked about extensions? Where is Freddie Peralta's mind at going into this last year? But dude's been around here a long time. I know he's worked with different youth groups in the area as well, so he's got a huge fan base from the kids that have interacted with him over the course of time, loved by everybody. Where do we sit there going into the last year of his deal?
Yeah, he's great. I mean, look, he's got roots here. I mean, he's somebody that's been a huge part of what we've been doing. I think we're better with this guy. There's no question. I think in any type of situation, like what we are, I think it's important for us to at least be open to things, but at the same time, the bar is going to be really high. At any time we're going to have those kind of conversations, and we have, and those are tough. You know what I mean? It's in order to sustain what we're doing right now, we have to make tough decisions.
Does the Woodruff contract work against you talking to Freddie? Because you just paid him $22.5 million?
No, not at all.
So they don't use that necessarily against you?
No, not at all. No, I think we have the support from Mark to bring back the core, and that was what Mark wanted to do. That's what we wanted to do, and I think we absolutely have the support to do that.
A few interesting points there, Tommy. The first thing that I heard was that they're constantly having those conversations, and I don't think that we're necessarily surprised by that.
No.
As Brewers fans, if a super good deal is put out there that the Brewers can't ignore, they won't ignore it.
You always have to be looking ahead when you are in the position that the Milwaukee Brewers are in as an organization, right? As far as the current guidelines of unlimited money being able to be thrown around everywhere, the Brewers can't keep up in the MLB compared to other teams. So understandable, that answer from Matt Arnold.
Do you think that Freddie will be dealed before the season?
I really hope not. And I guess I understand them listening, but as far as this Milwaukee Brewers team last year, right? You have the longest win streak ever. You win a playoff series for the first time in 7 seasons. You win the most games in franchise history. The goal every year with any organization, as we were just discussing with the Milwaukee Bucks and how the Green Bay Packers have done it, in my mind, the expectation should be championship. It should not be let's, win the division. Let's make the playoffs. Let's go 500, because in my mind, that's just loser organization talk. Like, you have to act like a winner in order to become a winner. And Freddie Peralta being dealt before the season makes no sense to me, because I don't see a trade package for Freddie Peralta that would improve the Brewers in 2026. I don't see that, where Freddie Peralta is on a bargain of a deal. You are paying $8 million this season to Freddie Peralta, and you are going to hopefully get a top end of the rotation guy the entire season, right? That's what Freddie does. He doesn't miss a lot of starts. Now, the previous instances of Devin Williams getting traded before the season, Corbin Burns getting traded before the season, this is not something that they have not done. They have also traded guys in the middle of the year, like Josh Hader, right? Why not have a similar approach with Freddie Peralta and judge your competitiveness on whether or not you move on from Freddie Peralta? Because they have had examples as well, a la Willie Adames, where you just ride it out and get the comp pick at the end of it. Give him a qualifying offer, which he won't take, and go make more money. Dylan Cease, who was the first domino to fall in this free agency cycle, 7 years, $210 million, had a worse season than Freddie Peralta, and they are the same age.
The big thing that I think about, though, with this team and the rotation is that you gave this money to Woody. You have Freddie, both of them, just through next season. That's it.
Yep.
Odds are, I think, they're not re-signing either.
Probably.
So it doesn't seem like you deal Woody as much as it is you would deal Freddie.
Right.
If you were going to move one of them. And I don't know. I know that we have Miz, we have Quinn Priester.
Chad Patrick, Logan Henderson. I mean, they are stacked at the pitching position. I understand.
Do you think that if they lose both of them at the end of 2026, that they're fine rotation-wise in 2027?
I do. I really do. I think that this team has proven year in and year out that they can develop pitching, and this is from the Nicolay Law talk and text line from the 920. Do you guys really think there is a big market for Freddie, a guy who has to use a lot of pitches and is very rarely gets to the sixth inning? I don't think so. Now, 920, I will say this. I tend to agree with you that Freddie Peralta is more likely to be the ace of the Milwaukee Brewers than actually be seen as an ace in the MLB landscape, in my opinion, as someone who watches $160 Brewers games a year. Like, I understand and watch Freddie Peralta, and every time he pitches, I feel like I'm asking for more. I'm like, okay, good, like, awesome. Can you go to the seventh now? Can you just, like, why are you always at 95 pitches in the bottom of the fifth? I get that, and I get that frustration, but I do think that there is going to be some club that gives Freddie Peralta $30 million. Like, that's not,
I mean, what was he, third in Cy Young?
I think he was fifth. I think he was kind of robbed of a third place finish.
Whatever, he was up there, and I think that a lot of these teams, you got to remember, MLB is different. It doesn't matter what their payroll is at that point. If they see one of these big markets, if they see a player and they go, oh, we want him, they can just go get him. And so I can absolutely see him going to a Yankees, Mets, Dodger-esque, team,
Padres,
whatever
it is,
that
Phillies,
has the money, and will spend the money, even if it's all about the mentality of where we are as a small market team that's not willing to spend money, looking and going, yeah, but is he good enough for us to invest whatever chips we have?
What I hate is this narrative of, oh my gosh, the Brewers are spending $30 million on two players. They're spending $22 million on Woodruff, $8 million on Freddie Peralta. That's so much money for the Brewers to be spending, not from fan base, but from media. It's like they're tied up in some contracts now. How could the Brewers not possibly think, wow, we are getting Brandon Woodruff and Freddie Peralta for only $30 million? We just talked about Dylan Cease, who was a guy with an ERA over 4 last year, by the way, making the same as
Both
Freddie Peralta and Brandon Woodruff. Like, it shouldn't be looked at as, oh my gosh, the Brewers are spending an average of $15 million on 2 players on the team. It should be looked at as, oh my gosh, how are the Brewers only spending $30 million for 2 guys that are going to be at the top of their rotation next year?
And that's one of the frustrating points that I don't think that I'm going to choose to focus on, of just because I know that it's done. They spent that money. I'm looking forward to what are they going to do, because they're not going to be able to afford to. They're not going to pay him $200 million.
No,
either one. I mean, that's nuts. So it's, do they do what we're used to in small market Milwaukee sports decisions of, even though he's doing well, we make a trade because we want to get something for him? Or do they go the Willy Adames route, as you mentioned, and just ride it out?
Again, I don't know why you would consider the trade before the season. I just don't. And Sparky had Harris Tour of the Milwaukee Brewers minority ownership group and the Milwaukee Admirals ownership group basically say, payroll's going to go up. It's going to go up this year. Yeah, we know that. Well, if Freddie Peralta's on the move, and I personally thought that meant Woody was accepting the qualifying offer when that happened. I just, because he was I think it was a week before the qualifying offer deadlines. I think that was some inside information that we got of, oh, Brandon Woodruff's going to stay and the payroll will go up because they're going to be paying Brandon Woodruff significantly more money this season than anyone else. I never thought of it as free agency on the move, but now it's kind of put your money where your mouth is, right? If you literally keep Freddie Peralta on the team for the steal that is $8 million, and you go for it this year, 2027 Major League Baseball is still up in the air. We don't even know if we're going to have a full season, if we're going to have a season at all.
Very true.
And to punt on 2026 for the future, I know it's the Brewers' way and what they've done with pitching, but let's be honest. Is Freddie Peralta getting the same haul that you got for Corbin Burns?
No.
And the Corbin Burns trade was DL Hall and Joey Ortiz. Everyone happy with that? Good, we're good.
Yeah,
right. Like DL Hall, he's looked fine in his moments, but he's ultimately been pushed back to a long relief role, maybe back end of the rotation. And Joey Ortiz, like, everyone wants him off the team. So I don't think it makes any sense to get the assets you can get for Freddie Peralta to help the team in the future when the future is uncertain and the team absolutely has everything to be competitive in 2026.
The future uncertain with Major League Baseball. The future uncertain for Giannis and the Milwaukee Bucks. That has been the big story, the story that we've talked about. And, oh yeah, it's Packers-Bears week.
Let's get into it.
We got to get into Packers-Bears. We are going to do that next. Rami Makloff from 9 to noon with Kuhn is going to join us. He's going to join us in studio. Very appreciative that he's going to make his way.
I didn't even know he got up this early.
I know. I honestly wasn't sure if he was going to.
I kind of figured Rami's show started at 9, so he woke up at 8:38 and just like rolled out. And Rami has like the Wallace and Gromit like get you ready in the morning machine where he just gets pushed down the bed.
It's a
teeth are being
carousel,
brushed,
just goes boop.
Hair gets put in the ponytail for him. Like,
That still might be the case. He might have just, started that conveyor belt.
well, he got married. Maybe I don't know if that helped at all.
A few minutes early, but we're gonna get a Bears fan perspective on this Packers-Bears game. And we of course want you to be a part of that conversation. We appreciate all the texts coming in already so far this morning on the Nicolay Law Fan Talking text line, 414-677-1250. Giannis, still a buck. He is a buck as of this morning. We don't know how his calf is doing. His Achilles apparently is fine. We will continue that conversation as well with Ty Windish at the top of the 8 o'clock hour. Stay tuned. We're having a blast. I'm Josh Albrecht. That's Tommy Wartz on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Welcome back, everyone, to Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. Josh Albrecht here. Trevor with a scheduled day out. He is not injured. He has no calf strain. No, nothing wrong with his Achilles. He should be back with us.
I was concerned
tomorrow.
for his calf.
Yeah,
he, took a pause there. He's,
he's
got no calf. It's gone.
I'm always concerned about his calf. Very excited to have Tommy Warts joining me on today's show. Very excited to have all of you here as well, being a part of the show on the Nicolay Law Fan Talking text line, 414-677-1250, and following along on Twitter and YouTube at WI Sports Radio as well. We appreciate that. And if you are watching us right now, you will see the addition of Rami Maklaw from 9 to noon with Kuhn, the residential Bears fan, on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network.
Oh my gosh.
And you're going to see him big. You're going to see,
dude, Rami, I'm going to start
Rami.
calling you old here that you can't figure this camera out.
What is happening?
There
we go.
Yeah,
There we go.
Yeah, the hat is wearing a hat over there. I think the L shape gets formed somehow. So it's happened before to me and Charlie.
Oh
but,
my gosh.
Right. That was like a Sparky level struggle on the L right there.
No,
so.
it's okay. It's okay. No L's taken yet.
Did Trevor request a trade? Is James reporting Trevor requested a trade? Is
no
that
trade.
Okay. All right.
No trade requested yet. No social media scrubbed. He has never requested a trade.
Okay.
I will say it for the 27th time that I have to do this. He has not requested a trade from Inside Wisconsin Sports. Very happy to have you join us. Thank you so much for coming in early, Rami. This has been I almost hate that all of this Giannis news and stuff is happening this week because I want to talk Packers Bears, and there's so much to talk about here with the rivalry and everything else going on. I wanted to have you on specifically because on Tuesday's show there was a little bit of a heated argument between Trevor and I over if the Bears are legitimate. If right now, not after the Packers-Bears game, if the Bears were to win or lose, but right now going into the game, are the Bears legitimate? And the conversation that came out of it had me going, I wonder how a Bears fan answers that question. So I want to know, where do you think the Bears are? Are the Bears legit?
Now, that depends on where you're setting the bar for legit. The Bears are good. You don't get to 9-3 without being good. They're a good football team. Are they as good as a 9-3 record? Are they the 1 seed in the NFC? Are they the best team in the NFC? Are they a Super Bowl contender? I'm not ready to go quite that far yet. But they are a good football team. They've moved from bad. They were bad last year. They moved into okay. Then they went to average. Now I've moved them into the category of good. I'm ready to say they're good. I thought beating the Eagles last week would have me sold that they are as good as anybody in the NFC. And then after that game and sort of reflecting on it and looking at how the Eagles have been playing the last few weeks, they almost lost to the Giants 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
They got it handed to them by the Cowboys after getting up 21 the week previous to playing the Bears. And then if you watch that game on Black Friday, you saw a team that looked defeated in the first quarter. Like if you look at the body language of Jalen Hurts, of AJ Brown, of Nick Sirianni, there's something going on in Philadelphia. And I'm not saying that they are spiraling. I'm not saying that they're done, but the arrow is pointing down on Philadelphia right now. And I don't think that you beat the best version of them. To me, this week against the Green Bay Packers is the week where we find out if the Bears are legit in the sense of being one of the top tier teams in the NFC.
So I have
worthy of a 10-3 record should they come out of Lambeau with a win.
I have a follow-up for this. If the Bears were playing anyone other than Green Bay this week, would this be the first week you would let yourself get overly excited? Because it feels like after that win against Philadelphia, it's the first week that I have raised my eyebrows to the Bear. Like, oh, okay, wow, nice. And I think that this is going to be the most relevant Bear-Packer game in maybe a decade right now. With
12 years.
Yeah, 12, right.
Yeah.
So I feel like that is the Bears, at least my perception of the fan base, where it's like, all right, let's get excited. Who do we got next? Packers. God, it's the Packers, right? Like, this should be the week where you beat the defending Super Bowl champions, no matter how fraudulent or
Mhm.
behind the 8 ball they look, like you should be excited this week.
Yeah, and I think the Packers adds a little extra juice to it. You asked if it was anybody else other than the Packers, if I'd be putting this much weight in it. Yeah, if it was the Rams, maybe the 49ers, which they will play in the final weeks. They got the Lions in the final weeks. I think that's still a test, despite how the Lions have looked the last few weeks. The Packers probably carries more weight than any other team could in this week's matchup. But yeah, there are a couple other teams that I think would put a notch in their belt as far as being, again, like I said, a top tier NFC team and a team that deserves to be in the conversation of a Super Bowl. But yeah, there's a little extra sauce on it being the Green Bay Packers for sure. Not just the rivalry, but all the demons that you have to exercise from past Packers-Bears matchups and everything else that goes into it. But it really is just facing what I believe to be a quality football team and one of the teams that has a chance to come out of this side of the bracket and represent the NFC in the Super Bowl.
Really quick, a yes or no answer here because I have a follow-up and we're up against it.
Okay.
The 920 wants to know, would a Bears fan, like you, say they are better than the Lions?
Great question.
If this was a horse race, the Bears just pulled up with the Lions. The Bears just put, like, we're coming down the stretch, and the Bears came from the rear and have just pulled up to like a neck and neck tie with the Lions. Sorry, you said yes.
I think that's a very good answer.
And then I'll have one
comparable.
more quick one for you. We brought it up in the morning mind dump, or rather, I have questions. Is this game a battle for the best quarterback in the NFC North?
No, Caleb Williams still has some work to do.
Okay.
He's 30th in the league
Is
right
he
now,
second?
I think, on I'll say the same thing as I said about the Bears and Lions. He just pulled up neck and neck with Jared Goff in this division.
Nice.
I think that's still saying something. I will tell you this, though. I don't know that if the Bears do win this game, it's really going to answer that question for you, because if the Bears win, it's because the Packers gave them the game. That's what this Packers team has been. The Packers beat the Packers. Their opponents haven't beaten the Packers. And I think that if the Bears come away with a victory, it's going to be the same thing this time around. Thanks so much for joining us.
That's it.
Here,
I
Rami.
woke up early and came in. Just
I
for
know,
that.
Dude,
I appreciate it.
I said there's no way you wake up this
I was like, I couldn't believe it.
I'm just playing.
Cannot wait to hear more on 9 to noon
Thanks,
with
boys.
Kuhn and you, as well as with Brandon Snide on 9 to
Can I
noon.
just
Thank
hang
you,
out
buddy.
and listen to Ty Windish?
Yeah, you
All right,
absolutely can, because
thanks.
Ty Windish is coming up next here on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, which are powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook.
I am an eternal optimist. So please, God, don't tell me that you're an eternal pessimist.
I like to say I'm a realist.
Oh, it's great. We're going to go along great. This is going to be great.
This is Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh.
Missed it. Falls through. 6 in the hands of Ron Rollins. He's going to hang on. And the Bucks hang on. Their grittiest, most gratifying win without Giannis comes tonight. And they take down the Detroit Pistons, the best team in the East.
What a win for the Bucks, who had quite a day, just as all of us did, Milwaukee and Wisconsin sports fans. Roller coaster of a day. It's been a great show so far here on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. I am Josh Albrecht. Trevor did not scrub his social media. He did not request a trade. He is not injured with an Achilles or a calf strain. It is a scheduled day off for him. He will be back tomorrow. Very excited and happy to have my boy Tommy Wirtz filling in. Tommy, thanks for being here, bud.
Yeah, what's up, man?
And I want to thank all of you for being here as well. You can, of course, make sure to follow the show, be a part of the show on the Nicolay Law Fan Talking text line 414-677-1250 and on YouTube and Twitter at WI Sports Radio. And if you are watching us on YouTube or Twitter, you're going to see our friend and the guy that I can't imagine what he's been going through the last 36 hours, Ty Windish of the Eurostep podcast, joining us on the Gruber Law fan hotline. Thank you so much for being here, Ty. How are we doing?
Doing well. You're right. It's certainly been a roller coaster of a day, and I just love that all this Giannis stuff, which I'm sure we'll get to, swirling. And I saw so many people post like the funniest outcome, right, is they just go and rinse the Pistons, and they didn't rinse them, but beating the number one team in the East with whatever 3 minutes or whatever it was of Giannis. Like, I think that probably qualifies. You know what? I'm a simple person. The last thing I saw is what I'll probably think about the most, and it was a great Bucks win. So I'll say I'm doing well. All that to say I'm doing well. Thank you.
Tommy, I immediately pictured, I think it's Charlie from It's Always Sunny.
Yep.
Having that just stressed out of his mind with all of the red string.
Who the heck is Pepe Sylvia?
That's exactly what I was picturing of the last 36 hours for Ty Windish as all that is going on. So I really appreciate you taking some time this morning, Ty, to join us. All right, we've kind of laid out everything that's happened through this. It started with Giannis scrubs' social media. Then Windhorst goes on a Cleveland ESPN radio show. I still don't understand why it was there, and that story comes out, audio of him saying, I don't know why anyone's surprised. He requested the trade during the summer. Then Shams reports, hey, Giannis and his agent are talking to the Bucks. They're trying to have a conversation to figure out what's happening next. Then Doc comes out before the game last night, denies all of it, says this is the same as it's always been. Giannis has never requested a trade. And then Giannis, 3 minutes into the game last night, goes down with an injury, and that takes us to here. My biggest question for you as you're going through this is, at what point, if at all, during that saga, did you go, oh boy, this is different? This might actually happen.
The Shams report, I think, because listen, and I think the Knicks stuff I don't think was fake over the summer either. I don't know if it was a trade request or not. I don't think Shams has touched that, and that was his report initially. Windhorst said it on ESPN Cleveland just because he's a Cleveland guy, by the way. I think he just has like a standing weekly spot there. There'll be random Windhorst news dumps from that station all the time. Just an Ohio kid. Just a kid from Akron. Just one of, not the most notable one, but one of them.
Him and Braun.
Yeah, those are the two.
Yep. 1-2 punch.
Yep. But the Shams report about the meeting, it just feels like, okay, after that ugly loss, I don't think they're having a meeting to say, like, we think everything is going great. You know, I don't know if that requires a meeting. It's like, we're really optimistic about the way things are going. I brought my agent because he thinks so too. So at that point, it was kind of like, oh boy, like, let's start looking at trade machine stuff and everything else. And I think it's great what Doc said, what he said. Honestly, he's so radically candor generally that I was kind of worried he was going to be like, we just got off the phone with San Antonio. Like, you never know what Doc's going to say. Doc on a random Summer League broadcast is like, yeah, Chris Middleton had double ankle surgery. And everyone's like, what?
Yeah.
So thankfully, Doc's like, no, it's not real, which is great. But we have to hear from Giannis. And now we won't. And that's like, I'm not, is it fake? It's not fake. It's a real injury. Hopefully it's not as bad as it could be. It sounds like it isn't from what we've heard after the game, but we'll find out. But you don't speak when you're injured. So I don't know. I mean, I think the injury probably puts the whole trade thing on ice, if I had to guess. But I definitely thought it was real, and it's definitely a bizarre spot right now. But really glad the team, was able to really come together. They had a players meeting, it seems, and just said, you know what, let's just go play good ball, regardless of all this stuff.
Yeah. All right. Ty Windish joining us from the Eurostep podcast here on Inside Wisconsin Sports. Let's talk about the game yesterday then, Ty, because it was a pretty exciting game and a great closeout. It's something that it feels like the Bucks are down 78-72 in the third quarter with 4 minutes left in every single game they play. Like, they are always right in it. And then the fourth quarter collapse and the third quarter is always there. Well, the Bucks close out. I believe they were on a 10-0 run, and then the free throw, I think, made it a 10-1 run at the end of the game. KPJ back into swing of things now after returning from his injury. Ryan Rollins obviously knew his volume was going to go up with Giannis going down. With Giannis going on the injured list or being injured, now what changes for this Bucks team as far as expectations go? Do they have to remain competitive during this time while he is mulling his options, or is Giannis understanding that, yeah, this team isn't really competitive if I'm not on the court?
Yeah, that's going to be the interesting thing. Obviously, they weren't competitive for the stretch he missed. And that was, I think, some of the reasoning for this whole, meeting or whatever, proposed meeting, intention for a meeting. I don't want to say something incorrect here. All the reports are worded strangely, I think, in a way. But
yes, I agree.
it's all it's not as simple as it used to be. It used to be you request a trade or you don't. Now it's like, let's talk. The two words that everyone fears in a relationship. That's what the Bucks and Giannis apparently maybe are doing. But I think the expectation should be higher now. I think, honestly, they played below expectation on that stretch anyway, and they were right there, obviously going to overtime with Philly. I thought that Portland game was winnable. They were right there against Miami, and none of those games went their way. But now the fact that you do have Kevin Porter Jr. back, I do think that's a big deal. And going from Cole Anthony, who had a pretty good start to the year, but then looked to be just sabotaging the Bucks in his minutes, I don't think purposefully, but it just wasn't going well at all. Especially over that stretch with no Giannis and no KPJ, to now Rollins and KPJ being the guards for 48 minutes a night. Those guys combined for what, almost 50 points and 16 assists last night? I mean, now suddenly you have an offense. Jericho Sims is giving you more defensively, and I think we're going to see a lot more of him without Giannis based on career high last night. I think the expectation should be tread water, depending on how long he's out, right? If it's the worst case, then I think the expectation is we'll all be rooting for lottery balls next spring. But if it's just going to be a matter of weeks, I mean, I think they're going to try and just hang in there and just not be as embarrassing as last time.
I want to know, Ty, if Giannis was to be traded, if the rumors are true and this happens, kind of a two-parter. First, do you have any faith in this team, especially after the way they kind of came together without him last night and took care of the Pistons? Not, a lot, but they won the game. And the second part to that is there any trade package that makes you feel satisfied of going, okay, that's good enough. Let's move on from Giannis?
I mean, I would never want to trade him. If you didn't have to, I would never be like, all right, now with the timing and injuries and stuff, I would do it. I mean, I'd ride it out with him. But, if in the scenario, right, where he's like, again, let's talk, and it's like, oh, it's probably not good. Haven't done the dishes in 6 months. I think they noticed. I think Atlanta is the team that I really look at because that trade they made with New Orleans last draft. So the Bucks get the worst half of their pick and the Pelicans pick. Atlanta has the other half, and the Pelicans are worst in the Western Conference. So Atlanta, to start a deal, and this isn't going to be the only thing, you might get Trae Young. You might send Trae Young somewhere else, whatever it is. But they can make it so the Bucks now are picking for Milwaukee and for New Orleans in this upcoming draft, which is a loaded draft class. 3 guys who I saw, Sam Vecini of The Athletic, I think the best draft expert out there, said 3 guys on the level of where he graded Cooper Flagg last year. So 3 potential franchise players. And now you're looking at 2 lottery balls in that. And the New Orleans one looks like it's going to be, again, right now, it's literally would be the first pick without a lottery. So that's how bad they've been.
I mean, that just feels like the Bucks get pick 4 and 5 in a
I know, right?
three-person draft.
Yeah,
I know.
exactly.
Probably.
Exactly.
It would just fall that
Probably.
way if it happened. But Ty, talking about the Bucks and trades with Giannis and where he could go, do you think the Pfizer Forum would burn down if Trae Young was the return for Giannis Antetokounmpo? Because I get it, they have picks, but we were looking at a couple of them, and this ESPN article that came out 6:00 this morning, they have a potential trade here, and I'll read it to you. It's the Hawks getting Giannis and Cole Anthony, and in return, the Bucks get Trae Young, Richase, and 4 first-round picks. If that's a deal that comes across your table, do you take the phone call? Do you say, oh my gosh, yes? Or is that not even close to the type of package you could see coming back in return?
I think that's going to be along the lines of the package. I think everyone wants OKC to send, J-Dub and their million picks, but OKC has won 20 of their first 21 games. They're not trading for anybody. They don't have to. So
yeah, they're good.
You take the super suitor out, and suddenly I think it's a lot of teams that have interesting stuff, but it's not going to be 10 first-round picks or anything like that. And I think that's just the unfortunate reality. I know everyone wants to say, well, Mikal Bridges went for 5 and Giannis should go for 12, but teams don't have 12. I mean, the general rule for these things is like you find a destination where the player's on board enough and they give you a nice player, maybe a couple, and then just whatever they have, right? And that's the teams don't have infinite. You can't borrow against the bank here. Like you just kind of take what's there. So if you're getting those premium picks from Atlanta, they also have the worst of Bucks Pels, top 4 protected next year. So you could kind of get another one of your own drafts back. And you get Trae Young, which maybe you send him somewhere else. I've seen a deal where like you send Trae Young to New Orleans and get Zion. I don't know if that excites people more or less. I mean, a better fit with the roster. A better fit with the roster.
We're gonna have calf strain talks after every game if Zion.
No thanks.
Yeah.
I want to know, Ty, do you think that this saga, the way that things have gone so far, whether this ends in the next 2 weeks, 2 months, 2 years, whatever it is, does this get ugly? I think that a lot of people, I know myself, I've been preparing myself for years for the day when Giannis is no longer a Buck. I am not someone that believed that he's going to finish his career here. I think it would be amazing, but I've been setting myself up to be prepared for that train coming, and it's going to hurt. But is it going to get ugly? Is it going to get to the point in which, if Horst says, no, we didn't get anything good enough for us to want to move on from Giannis, and Giannis gets more frustrated, do you see any chance that this plays out in a way that almost, I hate to say it, tarnishes Giannis's legacy in Milwaukee?
I think it might feel like that in the moment, but I think long term, I don't think it ever get that ugly. I really do think Giannis is just not going to be the guy who, gives the one team list and then makes it happen. I mean, it sounded like in that Shams article from yesterday, New York wasn't the exclusive team that was thrown in there at some point, which I think is good because they really don't have the stuff. If you don't like the Hawks package, Karl Anthony Towns and 4 second-round picks is not going to do much for you either. I don't think. So I think it really depends though on, does he want to go to one team? Does he just want to go win somewhere? Because if he just wants to go win somewhere, I think this can be executed in a way that makes everyone happy enough. I think there's enough good teams with stuff that is, again, you're never going to feel like, wow, we got great value for Giannis Antetokounmpo, one of the best 3 players in the league. But, it's like, okay, this is the way these trades work. We got some stuff back. I really do think, though, like, if this injury knocks him out long enough to where the deadline thing isn't as in play, and maybe it doesn't, hopefully it doesn't, maybe it's like 6 weeks. I mean, he had the similar thing in March and against the Celtics and then missed the whole playoffs and wouldn't have been ready even for, I think, weeks after that. So we don't know what it is. There is no timetable to be clear, but just using a past thing. Maybe the trade deadline's out, and then next summer, I think the Bucks probably have a first round pick of some sort, whether they trade it or use it. They have more time to build a more sensible roster. I mean, can they win him over again? I do kind of feel like every time Giannis is like, maybe I'll go, and the Bucks and John Horst are just really good at talking him into like, you can win with Ryan Rollins. And part of Giannis is like, you know what? I can. I just got a bronze medal with the Greek team. I can win with Ryan Rollins after all. And maybe that will happen again. I don't know, but the rubber will hit the road probably next summer one way or another because they're going to want to see that extension. He'll only have that year and a player option left on his deal.
Ty Windish, Eurostep Podcast, joining us here on Inside Wisconsin Sports. Ty, let's talk about this Bucks team and try to remove Giannis a little more. They got the Sixers tomorrow. They got the Pistons again on Saturday. I've actually kind of I never thought I would say this. I've almost enjoyed watching Kyle Kuzma play in some minutes this year, and he's really kind of been in this great value version of Giannis Antetokounmpo whenever he's on the court. Bobby Portis also gets more minutes, which everyone shields their eyes when that happens. But KPJ and Ryan Rollins are kind of a fun duo. They push the pace. Everyone's excited for that. First question, who's going to get a rebound on this team now that Giannis isn't playing? And again, how do you like their chances now with tomorrow after they have all this a big emotional win, as emotional as it can get before Christmas in the NBA with all the Giannis drama going on? What do you think the game plan becomes now to take on Philadelphia, who we just mentioned? They played close last time they played without the Greek Freak.
Yeah, I think the chances are pretty good against Philly, who has their own injury problems always with their key players, and I think has really cooled off after that red-hot start. Tyrese Maxey is a phenomenal player. The Bucks now have 48 minutes of Rollins, KPJ to throw at him, which should help. I mean, I'm not saying they're going to clamp him by any means, but those guys had good success against Cade Cunningham last night, who was definitely one of the best guards in the Eastern Conference. To your question about the rebounding, and on the other end too, Maxey not a great defender. I think, again, having Rollins and KPJ for the whole game should keep the Bucks offense moving when we just saw these ugly, ugly stalls in the non-Giannis tenure last time, or stint, I should say. For the rebounding, it's going to be Jericho Sims. I mean, he basically played the whole fourth quarter over Miles Turner, sometimes with Bobby Portis, and he had 14 rebounds, which I would guess Miles Turner has not done that all season. I think Turner should play more, and Doc I don't totally agree with that decision, we'll say, but Doc is clearly in on Sims because he does the defense, he does the rebounding, the things that this Bucks team, frankly, has really struggled with. If I had to bet, I would bet that we see the starting lineup for tomorrow night's game is KPJ, Rollins, Green, Sims, Turner, probably, which he did try that group without KPJ against Portland and didn't work. Portland really just trapped and hounded Rollins, and there was no other ball handlers. But now that they have Kevin Porter Jr., I think Doc is going to continue to give that group looks, just trying to say, can we have one guy kind of not as good, but kind of like a new age Dennis Rodman? Like all he does out there is dunk, rebound, and defend. And maybe we just need a player who's so far in that direction because the rest of our team is not doing those things.
Yeah, you got to think that that's the first game Jericho Sims has ever been a part of that his team won and he played 30 minutes. Like I feel like that's got to be
Tommy big Jericho Sims fan.
I mean, he is bull in a china shop every time he's out there. I love the I love the effort. I love the athleticism, but like let's be real. We were like, "Hey, career high yesterday." And he had 14 points, right? Or 15 points. So I think that Jericho Sims, like as much as the Bucks need that type of player, he's not quite as controlled as I would like him to be when he is out there. And he can jump out of the gym. His athleticism makes him an NBA player, no doubt. But I'm worried about some of his intangibles if he's getting 30 minutes a night.
Yeah, I mean, it was great to just see him catch the ball all the time. I think that's been one of his biggest problems was just catching and catching and then just taking it to the rim right away. I mean, it's literally the new age version of their Andre Jackson Jr. thing of like, this guy does not have all the tools you'd want to see in a starter on an NBA team, but he fills in the gaps they need, except Jericho's bigger and less behind the back passes. And now, listen, if he can catch the ball and just try to dunk it every single time on offense, if he's around the rim, I think that's all they need from him. He hadn't done that consistently enough. Last night was a step in the right direction, and we'll see, if he can continue to handle more or not. I liked him as a limited backup. This is a huge role, but Doc, we've seen, is just going to try and roll with what's working, especially down a player like Giannis.
He is Ty Windish of the Eurostep podcast, joining us on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network guest hotline, powered by Gruber Law. One call, that's all. Thanks so much, Ty, for joining us today. I'm praying for you and you being able to get some sleep. It's going to be a crazy time. Anyone that wants to be following up-to-minute information and great insight on what's happening with the Bucks and Giannis going forward should make sure to get the Eurostep podcast wherever you get your podcast. Thanks so much, Ty, for joining us. And hopefully we can have you on again soon.
Anytime. Thanks so much for having me, fellas.
Thanks, Ty.
All right. Coming up next here on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh, we have on Kaylin Sharkey, who is the sports anchor and reporter for WGN TV in Chicago. She is a Wisconsin native, took over talking about the Packers and Wisconsin sports teams to enemy territory. We're going to have her on talk Packers and Bears next here on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Welcome back to Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Want to remind everyone, it's the 19th annual toy drive for Children's Wisconsin and Robin's Nest happening right now. It's been happening all week, and we need your help. You can donate online at wisportsradio.com. You can also text TOYS to 34984. That's toys to 34984. Or you can go to Blaine's Farm and Fleet on Rawson Avenue in Oak Creek. They'll be collecting cash and toys this week from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Through Friday. Sparky out there. You can see Sparky. He's been killing it over there. We appreciate all of you guys' help. If for some reason you can't make it out to Oak Creek, you can drop off your toy for the toy drive at Natty Oaks in West Dallas, and they will shuttle it to the toy drive for you. It's the 19th annual toy drive for Children's Wisconsin and Robin's Nest, brought to you by Tri-City National Bank, Steel Wind Industries, By the Yard, and Metro by T-Mobile. Tommy, we have been talking today a lot about Giannis.
Yeah.
And not enough about the Packers and the Bears. We had Rami on earlier, but it is still Packers-Bears week, and I'm very, very excited to have on our next guest from WGN-TV in Chicago, Wisconsin native, Kaylin Sharkey joins the show. Kaylin, thanks so much for being here.
What's going on, guys? How are you? I'm great. It's a big week, a week that I look forward to every single season, twice a year. So it's the best. It's the best.
I mean, first of all, it's just I love that we're getting to talk. It's been a minute since we've been on the airwaves together, and I remember just when you made that move. It was a good career move for you, but moving to Chicago, and it took a long time. I feel for people that when you would be doing your job and you would be posting the content that you need to, and the responses would be, "Yeah, when are you moving home?
Yeah,
hey, when are you coming home? We miss you here in Wisconsin. We miss you here covering our team."
Some people were calling you Craig Counsell before Craig Counsell.
I did the Craig with not nearly as much money before Craig did Craig Counsell. I wish, if I would have had that money offer too, I would have been out of town as well. No, I think it's so much fun. I still got, like, the other day I posted, I don't know, the Bears injury report. No, I posted that the Bears were the 1 seed in the NFC, and someone like responded. They're like, "Miss Wisconsin's a Bears fan." I'm like, what are we doing? This is my job. This team. Like, I'm not trying to be funny or cute. Like, I'm like, this is my job. But it's so fun, and it just speaks to the rivalry. And I think that's like, if the media personalities are involved, it speaks to how big the rivalry is.
Well, Caitlin, and you're there at a pretty exciting time now for Chicago, as last year, things happen and Ben Johnson comes in, and now all of a sudden the team's 9-3. We had Rami Makloff, our colleague over here, also resident Bears fan, on earlier in the show. And I wanted to ask you a similar question of, like, it is the most important Bears-Packers game in over a decade, right? And this is also now, after beating the Eagles last week, it feels like it might be, for the first time, like, we're on the same page of everyone's excited for this game in quite some time too, right?
Yeah, I think no doubt it's one of the biggest games in a very long time, because I think this is the start, and I hope it's the start of, what we were saying, like a good rivalry. Both teams need to be competitive. And for the longest time, it was just like, yeah, the Bears got that Week 18 win last season, but the wheels had fallen off the track. It was a disaster. The whole organization needed to change. Well, now it's a completely different story. And I think, the Bears are just much more prepared for teams and to compete with teams like the Green Bay Packers. And I think it's interesting to me, like, especially going back to like Ben Johnson's introductory press conference and his comments about Matt LaFleur. Like, he was sending such a direct message, like, hey, like, I take this very seriously, this rivalry very seriously. So it's going to be a huge game. And I mean, I'll admit the Bears even surprised me in Philly. I think the Eagles are a bit of a mess right now, but that's another story. But I think the Bears really, really surprised me. So now I'm really looking forward to, and then twice in 3 weeks. That's insane. So it should be a fun couple weeks.
So a lot of Packers fans have been viewing the Bears as paper tigers and talking about the ways that they've won the games, not necessarily their record. And as Tommy mentioned, Rami here at the station is our resident Bears fan. And so we've been kind of basing the entire Bears fanship on the way he feels. And it doesn't seem to be as confident in the Bears and their play. He seems to kind of be like, yeah, I'm excited with what they're doing, but I'm still nervous as hell. This doesn't feel as confident as a 9-3 team I should feel confident about. Is that what you're hearing in and seeing in Chicago, or is that just up here and Chicago Bear fans in Chicago are hyped and feeling like, yeah, this isn't just about beating the Packers. This is about being a Super Bowl contender.
Yeah, I mean, there's cautious optimism for sure, and for good reason. And I think it starts mainly, and I think that's just by default. Sometimes when you're looking at a football team, are they good? Who have they beaten? You look at the quarterback, right? And you look what the quarterback is doing, what he isn't doing. And for the Bears, Caleb Williams is doing exactly what Ben Johnson needs him to do, running the offense that Ben Johnson needs him to run, leaning on the run game, all of those things. But like, if you step back, you're like, this passing game looks very disjointed. It's kind of like, okay, his stat line isn't that flashy. He's barely over 50% completion percentage. So you start going, wait a minute, like they can't be a Super Bowl contender if their quarterback is still kind of in this progression and learning this new offense. So I think that's where the caution comes from. But all out, like, the rest of the team, I mean, the coaching, is solid. They're not gonna make boneheaded decisions like they have in the past when it comes to coaching. The defense, is top of the NFL in takeaways. So it's one of those things where it's very easy to like, why are people still optimistic? And again, you're changing decades worth of a narrative with the Chicago Bears team, especially when it comes to the Green Bay Packers. So there's still that, like, back of your mind, like, is it the same old Bears? They may be telling us they're not. Their record certainly shows it's not same old Bears, but of course there's some of that scar tissue left in the fans' heads.
Caitlin Sharkey, WGN TV, joining us here on Inside Wisconsin Sports. Let's stick to the quarterback conversation, Caitlin, and I want to know an outsider's perspective on Jordan Love and the perception that he has had this season in his Packer tenure. I like to think that the jobs I want the least in the world, like number one is probably president of the United States. Number two, quarterback of the Green Bay Packers after Aaron Rodgers and Brett Favre. Like, that just sounds awful. The expectation is ridiculous. Feels like half the fan base wants to see Aaron Rodgers or Brett Favre out there. While I am in the boat saying he is not that, I am still satisfied and happy and think that he is a crucial part to the success of this Green Bay Packer team. But what does nationally or Chicago even think about how Jordan Love is playing and his impact a part of the Green Bay Packers?
I think it's interesting because you look at someone like Jordan Love, and now that I'm removed from it, I haven't covered the Packers in 6 years, six seasons. So you look at it like, well, he's doing what they need him to do. They're still contenders. They're competitive. He's not going to have perfect. He's not having perfect games. He's not having those holy cow moments. I think that sometimes he'll deliver throws or, kind of in clutch situations, step up and deliver. But yeah, it comes back again with the recency bias of, you come after Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers, you step into this fan base that the expectations of Wisconsin sports are so great because they're so high. Where in Chicago, I mean, I came here and I was like, this cannot be the quarterback play. This cannot be what's going on down here. Like, this is insane. What do you mean? You don't know you don't know who's starting. So it's just a very different perspective of Packers fans. And, I think Jordan Love has been good. He's done what he's needed to do. He hasn't played perfect. He's had some moments, but I don't think anyone here or from the outside is selling him short or underestimating him. And maybe now they're getting a little cocky down here because they're like, well, hey, if he's supposed to be the next, Aaron Rodgers or Brett Favre, he should be doing this, this, and this. But I think there's so many things when it comes to the Packers. The foundation has always been set in place. So I don't think there's any doubt that Jordan Love is capable of, doing what he needs to do.
The keys for the victory for the Packers in this game against the Bears, Caitlin, has simply been that the Packers have to put the right team out on the field. We've seen so much inconsistency from the Packers so far this season. And the Packers, I've said, play to their competition. And if they can play a good game and they have the team on the field like they did against the Vikings and the Lions, they're going to be just fine. What are the keys to success for the Bears to come away with a victory against the Packers in Lambeau?
I think they have to be settled down. I think Caleb Williams has to come out and a lot of, take care of the football and not make mistakes. Caleb's issue, I think, sometimes is he'll say like, oh, my feet were a mess. I couldn't get my feet under me to start the game and I'm not sure why. And you're kind of going, okay, it's year 2. He's still a young quarterback. Again, the moment's going to be huge. Now there's a little bit more pressure because you are a good football team, and that's a blessing and a curse for sure. But I think they need to lead into the run game. Kyle Monangai has an ankle injury, so that'll be something to watch, because if he's not able to go, that will change the run game in a big way. Not that I don't believe in DeAndre Swift, but it's going to change that 1-2 punch for sure. Lean into the run game and take the ball away. This defense has been built around takeaways. They're ball hawks. They're crazy about it because of their former Packer DB head coach and Al Harris. So Al Harris has taught this team, like, hey, you go after the ball. So if they take away the football, run the game, don't do anything reckless. And it would be nice to see the passing game get going. But again, Micah Parsons, that's a whole different game changer for Caleb Williams. And Ben Johnson said it this week. This will be one of the toughest defenses they face, no doubt, this season. So it'll be a real test.
I got one more question for you here, Caitlin, and it regards to looking ahead past just this week against Green Bay. But let's just say worst case scenario, the Bears don't win another game all season, but they still make the playoffs, and whatever happens in the playoffs, whatever. Are the Bears ahead of schedule? I mean, after 1 year of Ben Johnson, it sure feels like no matter what, like everything extra, right? Like everything's gravy after this already for Chicago. The last time they made the postseason, they were 8-8. I mean, they already are more improved on that 2020 year. So it feels like they are already relevant before they thought they were going to be.
100%. They've exceeded my own expectations. I think I predicted 8 wins at the beginning of the season. And even that I thought would be a great jump, because you come off a 5-win season, you fire your head coach, everything's a disaster. Ben Johnson coming in, and again, we didn't even know how Ben Johnson, the head coach, would look. We knew his offense would look great, but like there's so many things that go into being a head coach, leader of men, culture, buying in, all of that stuff. And it really has stuck with this team. And I think they have exceeded expectations. So I don't think they'll lose out. If they do, again, it's still a win. It would definitely put a damper. I think it would definitely leave a sour taste in people's mouths. Like, okay, we did this, and then, we kind of limped out of this season. It's great that they're in the position that they're in. If they get to the playoffs, this city will lose its mind. If they win win a playoff game, it'll be even more exciting, but certainly exceeded expectations. And again, this is year 1 we're talking about for Ben Johnson and his coaching staff. So I think they've done a solid job.
Caitlin Sharkey of WGN TV joining us here on Inside Wisconsin Sports on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network guest hotline, powered by Gruber Law. One call, that's all. All right, quickly, Caitlin, before we let you go, I need to get a score prediction from you. I need to find out, is it going to be the family back home being happy, or the people watching you on the news later that night being happy? How do you think the game's going to go?
I think they're going to split the games. So I think Packers 24, Bears 21 this Sunday. So, and then I think when they come to Soldier Field, I think it'll be a different story. I don't know. I'll be shocked if either team sweeps the other, takes both. I'd be shocked. But again, you talk about inconsistencies, Josh. The Packers
just call it how it is. Like, that's a cop-out answer there.
I actually listen, I'm happy with that answer, because I can't tell you why, but I feel like the first matchup between Packers and Bears holds more weight than the second. I understand that they both count the same in the standings and for the North divisionally, but for some reason it just feels like the first meeting between the two teams.
Yeah, you want to go, hey,
we hold more weight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's absolutely about making a statement right away.
So I'm hoping you're right. I'll take that answer, Caitlin. I appreciate it, and I appreciate you joining us. Thanks so much. I'm glad to see you're doing well, and hopefully we can talk to you again when the Packers make their way down to Chicago.
Absolutely, looking forward to it, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Thanks, Caitlin.
That is Caitlin Sharkey of WGN TV. Wisconsin native, had so much fun with her when she was up here, now behind enemy lines. But glad to see that she is doing well.
What do you mean? She's on the front lines now. I mean,
that's true.
When you go to battle Packers fans still know, when dominating the Bears for 15 years during that stretch.
Yeah.
Like, it was still like, this game means more. So she's on the front lines of, as far as where she could have gone to go work somewhere else, being a born and raised Packer native. True. Like, you're on the DMZ line of sports now here.
She knew. She knew what she was getting herself into. We appreciate Caitlin joining us here. We appreciate you joining us here on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. I'm Josh Albrecht. Trevor out today. Tommy Wartz in. And we are live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Sparky coming up next, joining us from the Toy Drive in What's Up, Wisconsin. Stay tuned.
Trevor and Josh want to know.
What's up?
What's up, Wisconsin?
What's up?
What's your plan for the day?
What's up?
What are you doing tonight?
What's up?
Let us know what's up on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh.
I'll tell you what you should be doing tonight, and that is going out to Blaine's Farm and Fleet on Rawson Avenue in Oak Creek for the 19th annual toy drive for Children's Wisconsin and Robin's Nest. We welcome on Steve Sparky Pfeiffer, who has been there all week and will continue to be so. Sparky, how are we doing?
We're doing good, man. It's a little cold today, obviously, single digits, but do not let that be a fear factor. If they have heat inside Blaine's Farm and Fleet, you'll be fine. Go to Toyland, get yourself a couple toys, donate it for Children's Wisconsin and Robin's Nest. If you can't make it, you always can go online, donate there at wisportsradio.com. And it's going to be a fun one, man. There's only 2 days left, so you procrastinators are running out of time, man. Today, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m., tomorrow, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m., that semi that we're trying to fill is only halfway full. So anybody that can help out, whether it be a business, whether it be, you just listening on your radio, if you can donate a toy. We have a cash jar as well. If you want to donate a couple dollars, that'd be great too. All is welcomed out here at Blaine's Farm and Fleet in Oak Creek.
Yeah, Sparky, did you get a frame for the receipt from Steelwind Industries? It was Steelwind, right? Where they donated $6,600 worth of toys. And personally, I love that for the kids, but I want to own that receipt. It was massive. I mean, it looked awesome, and that was super cool of them. And I know they've done a great job in the past with this over the last 19 years with the toy drive. And it was awesome to see them show up again a couple of days ago.
I call them the guardian angels of that toy drive because every year they are always the single largest toy donor to our toy drive. And it would be very difficult for us to fill that semi, even more difficult than it is already, without their great donation. So still a lot of ways to go, though, here. So if there are other companies that would like to step up and come at it with that type of deal or try to surpass what Steelwind Industries did, and you want to walk up as a company and try and do that, more than merrier, the better. What they do is they take a bunch of their employees and they stop in the middle of a shift, and they're based in Oak Creek, and they all come over to Blaine's Farm and Fleet. They all get shopping carts, and away they go. And they get their own aisle to check out at and the whole deal. And it is an amazing thing. And then there's a parade of carts out to the semi. We take pictures and then load all the toys in. It's a very, very cool thing to see.
And I want to make sure that everyone knows that the excuse of, well, I work or I'm busy from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m., that doesn't work in this case, because you can donate online at wisportsradio.com. You can text toys to 34984. That's toys to 34984 to help the cause. Or if you bought a toy, or you think you could buy a toy, but you can't get to Blaine's Farm and Fleet in Oak Creek by 6 p.m., you can drop off that toy at Natty Oaks in West Dallas anytime, and they will make sure to drive it to shuttle it over to Sparky and the toy drive.
For sure. Absolutely. That absolutely all works. And talking about being online and texting, man, we had $5 total yesterday. That's all. $5.
That's crazy. Come on, guys.
Damn day, man. That's all we had donated online was $5 between online and texting. That is crazy, man. I know there are some of you listening that can donate some money here. I'm not asking for y'all to donate $100 a pop or anything crazy like that. $5, $2, whatever y'all can donate, I would be more than appreciative. Everybody listening donates, $1 or $2, man, we'd be off to the races right now with this thing. And again, man, it's for the kids at Children's Wisconsin, who are having a bad day, who are going through things, and they get that toy, and for that couple of moments, all of what they're going through kind of goes away, and they smile and they play with their thing a little bit, and the parents, the relief on their face, finally seeing their kid smile, maybe after not smiling all day or for the last couple of days or whatever it is. It's just a big deal. Or you're stuck in the hospital or whatever in the holidays, or Robin's Nest with the foster care families, and all these families maybe can't afford to have the Christmases they want, and being able to help and supply toys for those kids as well. It's just, I'm sorry, but there's not much better in this world than seeing a small child or any child of any age, I don't care, all the way up to a teenager, smile and laugh and have fun. It's just a great feeling as a parent to see that.
Yeah, I give Sparky a hard time for the amount of Christmas trees he owns, but with the season around, this is obviously couldn't be more proud to be a part of it here at the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. And we all know this already, but Sparky, you're doing awesome work down there, and
you bet.
Being down there as long as you are all week, truly awesome, and we're all super thankful for you. and thankful to be a part of the toy drive here, even if it is just my second year for the last 19 years.
I will tell you that Jack Pembroke, Peacock himself, has been the star of this toy drive, man. He's down there at 6 a.m. every day, stays till 6:30, 7 p.m. every day, and is making it all go, getting everything going with the Bears sunroom, helping all the volunteers get set up, helping move the toys into the semi and all of that. Jack Pembroke has been the rock star of this toy drive this week.
Well, we appreciate him. We appreciate you, and we appreciate everyone who is helping us for a great cause in the 19th Annual Toy Drive for Children's Wisconsin and Robin's Nest. Thanks so much, Spark. All to you soon.
As Tommy told me yesterday, I miss your faces.
I miss your face. I miss your face, man.
We love it. And we love all of you. It's been a heck of a show. Thank you so much, Tommy, by the way, for filling in.
Yeah.
When Trevor's out. It was a whirlwind of a day. We kind of knew that it would be with the news that happened with Giannis and the Bucks and Packers, Bears weeks, and so much stuff that happened today. And I love how much we covered. I want to thank Rami for coming in early. Couldn't believe that. I want to thank Ty Windish for hopping on with us. Caitlin Sharkey for hopping on. It was a jam-packed show. It was a good show. And I appreciate you.
Yeah, and Steve Sparky Pfeiffer.
That's
Sorry.
right.
Yes.
Absolutely. Thanks so much for joining us on today's Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. Trevor will be back tomorrow, and we will do it again live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook, because we're not done yet.